I really enjoyed the comment today from somebody saying, like, it's really just a matter of time. Like, we're going to be invaded by a Dan Hunter honeydew. Now.
It's okay. They'll be boring and predictable.
Beautiful.
It's like, oh, R1, we've seen that one before.
And the more they invade us, the more ironic it gets.
What are they going to do? Bore us to death?
Why is there so much of you?
It's the next Navlon is just honeydew. All honeydews and like one blueberry, like one.
Honeydew's the Navlana fruit.
I want a bumper sticker of that. No one, there's like in the human population, there's like a 0.0001% of people who would understand.
I guess welcome to the episode, everybody.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to PlayFrame. We're having fun already. Welcome to Demon Souls, though. Good times.
Good times.
All right. But off of the subject of fruit, ever so briefly, we are back in the Swamp of Sorrows, but with a nice shortcut now. So that's good.
We love a shortcut.
Yeah.
All right. My sign is down in the big opening area.
Fantastic. I will watch for it. So while I'm watching for it, I feel like you have to tell us what's been going on with you lately, because just before we started recording, you achieved something quite impressive sounding, and I want to hear more details.
So, so recently, I'll start with the reason why. There's a streamer I follow who he just released a new ROM hack he's creating, and it's called Grand Poo World 3. Off of the streamer Grand Pooh Bear.
Yeah.
Who is like a very well-known Kaizo player and stuff like that. And Barbarous King is the person who made the mod. But it was one of those... I've loved Kaizo, ever since I learned about it, and never have tried anything. But just seeing, like, the community get so excited, and, like, I've been watching, like, everyone's streams of them playing through the new ROM hack, and I'm like... looks so fun. Like, it looks like such a genuinely good time and welcoming community. I'm like, I gotta try it. So I played and beat my first Super Mario World Kaizo ROM hack.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It was a little ROM hack called Learn to Kaizo, and it was 69 rooms.
Of course.
And each room was like here's one little thing we'll test. So it's like, okay, here's a shell jump. Here's a block grab. Here's a double shell jump. Here's a spring jump, and like all these very like specific things. And they gave you like a little info block with each one. And then that would be the whole level. Is like, you just do this once or twice and learn the basic understanding of it, and then you move on.
That's such a good idea.
And then, like, every 10 rooms, every 10 clears, there would be, like, a little castle. And it was like, here's a test. And it would be just the stuff you just learned. There was previous 10 levels.
Amazing.
But it would be all, like, stitched together, right? So, like, some of them would have a checkpoint, some wouldn't. And one of them I spent, like, a good 2 hours on just, like... They were not hard Kaizo levels, but, it's my first time, so...
Yeah.
It was rough.
And those techniques are not easy.
Yeah. And I did use a few save states. I went, like, 50 exits without using them, and then I learned about double shell jumps. Which, let me tell you, they hurt the hands.
Do they?
They feel really good when you get it, but it does hurt the fingers.
Hey, a bug.
But after 68 levels, there was a final exam, and it had a little snippet of everything in it, and like ample checkpoints through it and stuff like that. And man, it felt so good. It was one of those like, I'm just gonna try this out, see if I like it, and it's got that same, like, you beat a Dark Souls boss that you've been struggling with for a bit, and you're like,
yep,
this feels good. I like
Oh,
this.
no. and this is where it starts for you.
Yeah.
It's like, where are you going to be, like, 2 years from now? Like, I can only imagine.
So, like, There are a few other like kind of learning Kaizo ROM hacks that I've seen and researched. I think I want to just play one of like, you know, someone being like, here's my levels. Because I think I like the idea of like progression, and I'm playing and, you know, I'm seeing what's out there.
Uh-huh.
And then I might dip back and go do some more learning and stuff like that. But I'm so curious about it. It's, you know, basically like probably like before GDQ was when I first learned about Kaizo stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so neat, especially watching like a good player execute it is incredible.
Oh yeah. The fact that people do like speed runs of kind of Kaizo stuff, like even at GDQ, and they've had like the kind of custom kind of Kaizo levels that players have never seen before and just get through speedrun first time.
Yeah.
It's bonkers.
So cool. Also, this guy had a barrel arm and the barrel exploded.
What? I didn't know it could explode. That's cool. For such a gross boss, very cool looking.
The guy looks so cool, but he's sadly one of the easier Demon Souls fights.
Yeah.
But he's neat.
We were talking about hard video games while fighting him.
If you do play that at home, though, he shoots these little flies at you, and if you get hit by the flies, you have to run into those like torches on the side.
Oh yeah.
Because they'll do the like. I think is it just bleed, or is it like a poison or something?
It's I can't remember if it's like it is definitely like damaging you over time. I don't know if it'll like stack up into like a bigger thing like bleed will, but yeah, you do have to run into the torches to get the bugs to leave you alone.
You know, some classic FromSoft stuff.
Yeah.
But he looks cool. He looks cool in the remake.
Absolutely, yes. Way cooler than I mean, most of them have looked way cooler than the original, but that seems like a very big upgrade. All right, get that unlocked.
Are there any so far that you think looked better in the original?
Thinking. I mean, like, it would be a pretty impressive feat for one of the originals to have managed to pull that off. I don't think so. Some of them definitely have felt like bigger upgrades than others, but on the whole, they've all just looked so much more impressive than they used to.
Yeah. I'm having a hard time. I think if there was one, it would be something like along the lines of like the Adjudicator, where it's that like that dark room, you can't really see the boss that well, and you know like Silent Hill 1 for the PlayStation of like it's really not that spooky of graphics, but I think like the like I'm drawing a blank, like, you know what, pixel art, and you make up the stuff in your head and it becomes creepier, like old retro games.
Yeah, just stuff that leaves more in the for your imagination to have to kind of complete the image.
Yeah,
and your imagination does a great job.
Yeah, I like some old games will do that for me still, where I'm like, you know, I'm looking at shapes and I'm scared, and it's like,
yeah, agreed. No, I think there are some. It's more a testament to just how effective like the old Demon Souls bosses were, like those really effective ones at, even within the simplified graphics, just the way light looked, the way they were shaped, the texture, the sound, the vibes of the space they were in were really effective, even in simple form. And I think, Adjudicator was absolutely one of those that like doesn't need 4K modern incredible like game graphics to be impressive and cool. And like that's honestly, it's like Storm King was already real impressive. That Storm King is so much more impressive now is really just like what's like a testament to just how darn good Blue Point is.
Good stuff. Good job, Blue Point.
Yeah.
We love it.
Excited to see whatever it is they're working on next.
I know.
All right. Let's be done with this smelly place.
Let's go from smelly place to like not smelly, but just unpleasant.
Yes.
I think given the option of zone 2 or 3 for the plague area, I think I'd go zone 2 over zone 3.
Just in terms of places you have to be.
Yeah, like if I had to choose, they're like, your life depends on this choice, Dan. I'd probably just choose the nasty swamp.
Yeah. I'm quite curious to see how this particular level plays out in the remake, because like a lot of these FromSoft Soulsborne games, like there are certain points in every one of them that are sort of like really momentous, like moments. When you reach them, they're like, whoa, you realize you've stumbled upon something really important or major or significant, that like even if you don't fully grasp it, something feels narratively major about the moment you've just stepped into. And this is, I think, the big one for Demon Souls that like was really effective.
Yeah.
I'm super curious to see how it feels now. Where should I look for your sign, by the way? I see the fog door and I'm not going to go through it quite yet.
Okay, so the first little ladder that you can go down.
Okay, I see it.
I just put, I was like going down each one and I'm like, nope, not here, not here.
There we are.
I see you. I'm pointing to your specter.
It's me.
Also, man, like the idea of spelunking IRL is terrifying, but very cool. And some reason this like cave structure and these walls really make me want to, but I know I would never.
Yeah, absolutely. This walking down this tunnel feels like following after you in Deep Rock Galactic. Just a dwarf-shaped hole that they just burrowed straight through.
Yeah, someone just held down and the drill just let them go. Oh man, I can't tell if the red glow is from like an invader, but it was really cool.
There's a message and also a death, but yeah, the red, it's adding some nice vibes.
Yeah, really.
I like it.
Just catch up.
Just catch up. Yeah.
They all could have had V8s.
Really different musical arrangement too. Interesting.
Go forth, Galvin. May you be unharmed.
Is that the same cutscene?
It's like the same cutscene that played out before.
Yeah.
Very similar. Like it's been a while since I saw it, but it's very close.
Okay. Yeah, because it was just like, I don't know, man. It felt very impactful, and I kind of felt like confused. I feel like the first time I playing through this.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. Like it's toying with your expectations heavily, getting to the very end of a very unpleasant place.
Oh, hey, look, right down there, there's a golden seed by that tree.
Yeah, like getting here and then having just the boss of the area be somebody who clearly matters a lot to the community here and who isn't going to fight you at all. They have someone who's guarding them, but like suddenly feeling kind of bad and like that there's some more complexity to this than you thought. Not that the game's trying to like make you become a villain and like,
Yeah. But I feel like, everything else you've been fighting has been literal, demons and monsters.
Yeah.
And this is the first time you're like, maybe there's something else to it.
Yeah, like maybe there could be some more complexity to this. And
He
yeah,
does
like
not
that.
Want to lower that.
No, like I like that his AI is literally just trying to hold you off and just obstruct you.
You abandon us.
Harder to do with two people.
We live humble lives. Leave us be.
Wow, man, I do no damage to him.
He's a tough cookie. very sturdy.
Rough for two folks, though. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, much more challenging for one.
He's between a rock and a hot place.
See, that's the sort of joke that Slay Bell would tell and get muzzled for.
I'm looking disappointed. You're rubbing off on me. We're in like, season 3 of the show, and well, don't forget to heal in case the plague gets low.
Yeah, they all just live down here in the plague. Yeah. Let's see, Widow's Lotus. Here we go. Yep, just non-stop plague down here. I don't know how you're doing it.
You killed him, didn't you? Very well. I can no longer resist you. Do as you like. Take your precious demon soul.
Is there some place to stand where I'll be getting slightly less plagued? Not really. Yeah, I like that they don't even have you attack.
Yeah.
She just self-destructs.
She's like, oh, you want it so bad? Here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very eerie, melancholy, confusing, like a moment to have
Yep.
this deep into a experience like it. It's really cool still. But yeah, I agree. 5-2 would be a much more pleasant place to live. I see why they built a village there.
Yeah. They're like, ooh, don't do it.
Ooh, we're good out here, thank you.
We'll put this Colossus to keep anything from coming into our town.
Well, all right.
It's cool that it's so far into the game, too. Like, if this was like an early boss, I think the impact would be lost.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's not like this game is trying to completely flip the script and say, like, oh, the demons were the good guys and you were the bad guy the whole way through, actually. Like, that is also just another kind of very simplistic way for the world to be. But after going through a very long, a long stretch of a lot of very hard bosses that are all demons and scary things in dark places, and all of the friendly people you meet are all very nice and nice to you and not demons. And then at near the very end, near one of the worst areas, having that encounter throwing everything into a bit more question and complexity is a real cool touch. Still love that.
I don't know why I just had this memory of like when I first was playing through Dark Souls, and like no one knew what Dark Souls was, and it was just a tiny blip on the radar, and like you had heard mumbles about Demon Souls and stuff. I know it's really hard, and I remember I went to this like arcade bar, and they had like games you could play, and you'd sit in like some nice couches, and you could just play that and get drinks and stuff. And I was like, oh, I'll grab Dark Souls, and I beat like the Asylum Demon. I was like, I'm pretty good at this. And I remember thinking that to myself, and being like, I'm pretty good at games. Like,
y'all seeing this?
You seeing this? Everyone said this was hard. Oh man, it was such a vivid memory of that. But like that first playthrough of a Souls game before you had seen, a bunch of it and stuff is like, it feels such like a separate entity than it is now.
Yeah. Even playing a new Souls game now, we've learned the language now.
Yeah.
So it's still new and exciting, but it is a fundamentally different experience from jumping into one of these just bizarre, foreign, strange, and hostile things and starting to learn it.
So weird. It's really surprising too, because like thinking back on it, it was so off-putting.
Yeah. Did you ever bounce off of Souls games before like actually getting through one all the way and it clicking and being like, oh wait, I get it. This is fun.
I think the time I finally was like, okay, I'm going to try and play Dark Souls, because I think I played it like I rented it once, and then I think I played it in that like arcade bar, and then I picked it up, and I can't remember who it was, but there was like a YouTube playthrough, and I was watching, and I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool. Like there's a lot more to this, and I'm realizing like the areas I had gotten to was like part 1 of their like 28 or something playthrough, and I'm like, whoa, there's more, and. And it took, I want to say it took me like probably like a good 6 or so hours just getting to like not even getting to the Tauros demon. Just dying there to like the Black Knight and stuff. And then it clicked of like, oh, like read the animations. Like, I don't know why if I just like, I guess I never had that in a game where I needed to care,
There are so few games that asked, like, that was not common then. Like, usually, like, it was action games of this sort, like a Devil May Cry, Kingdom Hearts, God of War, you run up and you start attacking things.
Yeah, it's like, how good are your combos? And it's like, I was like, oh, I'm pretty good at God of War, I'm gonna, like...
Yeah.
And yeah, and as soon as that, like, realization clicked, then I started making, like, actual progress. But there was, like, a very... solid wall of me not making any progress, not learning anything, not taking any information in that I'm like experiencing. I was just like, oh, this is hard, it's unfair.
Yeah. Yep. And same. Like, I definitely spent a long time. Like, I did bounce off the Souls games like 3 or 4 times, just trying Dark Souls and just sort of like being like, I still not getting it. It's just weird.
Yep.
And
it's funny too. I found art that I did after my first playthrough.
Yeah.
And I drew like my character, and I was using a tower shield and a spear the entire playthrough. And I'm like, you couldn't catch me dead with either of those things these days. Like, it's so funny. I went through the whole game like that.
It is so cool. Like, yeah, how like your play evolves. Because yeah, I was so defensive and like, my play style then as opposed to like how I'd play now, so different.
Yeah.
And not through like intentional change, just with me becoming more familiar and feeling like I need to be able to move more. I need to be able to.
Yep.
Yep.
You start to feel like the movement and reaction is bigger than your like health pool and defense.
Absolutely.
Like they obviously still super help because I definitely catch myself, like going through like Elden Ring the first time, and it's like tight quarters, shield's going up because I know what's coming. Like,
Yep. Very much the same. By the way, so folks who are watching my screen and wondering what is he doing, don't worry about it. Anyway, back to the conversation. So, yeah, like I recommended it a few times, probably just in our various playthroughs, but Noah Gervais is a YouTuber who I immensely love, who does like very long form, kind of almost travelogue like reviews and analyses of various games. And he finally made a video on the Dark Souls trilogy, and then another one about Sekiro and Elden Ring and Bloodborne and such. And he is a person who is not like he's perfectly fine and good at games, but he's not like a great like Twitch reaction time. Mm-hmm. Like this is the kind of game that he thought for the longest time, he just, based on the reputation, that it's like, this is not a game for me. I will not like it. And he did eventually like realize, okay, no, actually I do love these, but the strategies that he describes coming up with, the builds he comes up with to make up for his own just sort of like deficiencies in terms of like reaction time and ability to like play at like Bloodborne or Sekiro speeds, is amazing, because it leads to him playing the game so radically differently than I would. But then his way of approaching problems will lead to him being able to beat Millennia in 2 tries. Or like,
What the devil's wrong with you?
oh, sorry, that one was a mistake, Mr. Merchant. This is intentional. So the heel turn has begun.
real quick. So like, so Lady Jingle has the jingle bells, right?
Yeah.
What is sleigh bells a specific type of bell?
It's a good point, because yeah, like the Lady Jingles, like it is the sound of sleigh bells on the wind. a good question, though. Yeah, we need we need Sleigh Bells entrance music, as it were.
What? This is a dumb idea, and I hope it doesn't stick. But like, what if it was just a doorbell?
I kind of like it. I do kind of like it. I hadn't really thought about before that the sleigh bells are basically Lady Jingle's equivalent of the John Cena.
Yes. We've talked about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation many times, right?
Yes. In fact, I watched it, I think, all the way through the first time with you coming over to watch it. And it was great.
There's a moment in there where like all the family comes in. It's, you know, they're dreading seeing the in-laws. And they ring the doorbell and it's like, bing, boom, bing, boom, bing, boom. Like it just gets lower and lower pitch. And I'm like, that's immediately like what I thought of first, why I went with doorbell.
I like that. There is a ominous sinisterness to that is very good.
Yeah, just a low, bassy, drawn out doorbell. Or like Carol of the Bells, like
but just every time it loops, it pitches down. Pitches down, but gets faster. This is going to be some fun audio experiments to play around with later.
We should release a Christmas album, and it's just both of us holding sleigh bells for like 2 hours. No, nothing else. Just or it starts as that, and then like halfway through, you hear like sword clashes and like squelches of blood and stuff.
Yeah. Just sounds of distant, unsettling violence. Yeah. It's a very nice, good, spooky album idea you've just come up with here.
Ooh, yeah, I like it.
So what I'm doing right now to actually explain is with the heel turn, for this Mephistopheles NPC quest to happen, I need to have full black character tendency like I'd kind of described before. To do that, I'm going to have to start killing some NPCs. I don't want to kill some of the NPCs that Mephistopheles might send me to kill later. I mean, the quest would still work. I think I'd prefer just to actually see how that all goes. So I've got a handful of kind of like NPCs who I think I'm safe on that front, who aren't on the Mephistopheles hit list. Some of who live around here.
Interesting.
So let's see. So y'all can see my character tendency up in that top left corner. The little eyeball thing used to be all bright and glowing. It is much less so now. We will see how long it takes for that to go much darker. You there?
Oh, I can hardly believe it. The fact that I'm helping to save the world. Oh, Saint Urbane.
Well, since you're doing it, I kind of want to join in.
Oh, yeah. No, join the party.
I'm getting this Lady Stone Mbasa.
Yeah, that's actually exactly where I am also right now.
Mbasa.
Mbasa. Really says something that neither of her companions even seem to notice.
Yeah.
I thought y'all were kind of a crew. But yeah, no, that symbol up there is definitely getting darker. Hang on. I'm going to BRB everyone. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I needed to look at the image for what like the pure black character tendency icon looks like, just so I would know for sure when we actually got to it, because it's not like a number represented anywhere. It's just this much more nebulous, or what menu am I looking for? It's this much more nebulous brightness or darkness thing, right? And you can see it on the world tendency here in this menu. I've got 3 of these areas at full white tendency, 2 of them a bit darker from probably having died there or something, or died to invaders there. You get the idea. So, you.
With His Holiness Saint Urbane back, the magicians will have to watch themselves. Thanks to his holy miracles, you brave battlers of demons will no longer be solely dependent on dark magic. Isn't it?
They really talk a big game about like this sort of
such an opportunity.
faith versus intelligence gang war they think they're going to have down here in the Nexus.
They really do.
It's like now that Saint Urbane's here, boy, they're going to have to watch themselves. Like next time we all get together in a big scrap. Like it's West Side Story over here.
They're all snapping their fingers, walking through the Nexus.
You see there? Yeah. Why have none of y'all been like doing any choreography work while I was out?
Yeah. This is on you because
Yeah.
I wasn't seeing enough of an effort.
Do better next time.
Yeah.
All right. Character tendency go down. Not fast enough though.
Oh man, I'm looking at the camera settings in this game, and there's one that's just camera lens debris.
Lens debris. Oh yeah, you're in like the photo mode thing.
And man, I do love the visual it looks. It's kind of like like refractions of light, but they're all like little hexagon shapes
Ooh,
and stuff, and it just looks really pleasant, like looking at the candles and stuff like that.
interesting. Here, I tried loading into a level just to see. Like sometimes I know that world tendency changes don't take effect until you like
Right.
warp somewhere. I didn't know if that worked per character. But while I'm here, actually, I'm curious. I've not opened photo mode yet. What's the button for it?
So it's the center, the big touchpad,
Okay.
and then it's like to the far right.
Hang on. There we go. Yeah, photo mode.
And then the setting I'm in is the far right one, the one that looks like a little flower. And if you just crank lens debris to 2 and look around at like some light sources and stuff.
Ooh, yeah, I like that. Oh, that's cool.
Just a nice look.
Yeah, I so rarely play around with photo modes at all, but like, I love that it's become a more regular feature in a lot of games
Yeah.
for a lot of reasons, but also like someone in comments had mentioned, and I hadn't even thought about this. It basically adds a pause button. Dark Souls games have never had pause buttons.
Now
but
when you're like, your mom's like, honey, it's dinner time. You go, I can't pause it, mom. And now you can. She's going to be like, you can pull up photo mode. Don't, Joshua, don't give me that.
they added photo mode for a reason, Scrub. Come down to dinner.
Yeah. You can get good when you're finished with your broccoli.
I mean, actually, now I'm really enjoying this gamer mom character.
Gamer mom.
Should have rolled, dear.
Should have rolled. Interesting. You leveled Vicar. I didn't know I was raising a failure. Just kidding.
What are these points I'm seeing in resistance? We've talked about
Honey,
this.
you should know better.
I'm not mad.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
You know, for how many times like I've used that as like a punchline or just saying it to friends, I don't think I've ever had that like drop on me. Like usually it was just like, I'm disappointed, right? Like
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever had that line used on me either.
I feel like it's too funny.
It is definitely too funny now. I don't know if anyone ever actually had said it to me or if just collectively I feel like we've all heard it because it's just kind of like
Yeah.
we're all familiar with it.
Yep.
You want, brute?
Like we've all been yelled at by our parents.
Yeah. Whether they've used the words or not, we know we've put them in a state where they were not angry, but they were, but mostly they were disappointed, mostly.
They didn't have the right words, but we knew.
Yeah. We knew. I'm tired of this guy calling me a brute, I've decided.
Yeah, get him.
Ah, that felt good. All right. Character tendency go down. Not all the way there yet, though. Is the music getting worse or weirder in here because I'm doing this? Probably not, right?
I can't remember why it changes. I'll look that up while you keep killing people.
I'm curious. Like, I think it changes once you're like at the very end game or whatever. And
Yeah.
But maybe it does change when your like character tendency changes. I don't know. Let's see. We need to go find Skiver. since I got the world tendency up high enough to make him show up, that'll be perfect for making my character tendency go down. Assuming I can survive to get there. I guess I don't need to be in human form for this. Why am I in human form now? That's reckless. Stop being that.
So do you have like an organ playing in the Nexus?
There was like a bit more of like a chorus playing weirdly, like voices. And maybe they've just been there more often and I just hadn't noticed before. It seemed like they suddenly got louder after that combat.
Yeah, because it definitely, because I know it changes when you've killed all the, like, archdemons, right?
Yeah. It probably was me just noticing a thing that's always there.
I would not be surprised if it changed based on your tendency, though. It feels like a thing they do.
Right?
Once you've killed 3 archdemons, the music changes. This post from... Oh, that's the original 2010.
Wow. But that would do it, because, yeah, we've killed 4 now, right? Of the big top one.
We killed...
Yeah.
Right?
So that's
Yes,
probably is
yeah.
what it is. The music has changed because of that, and it had changed a little bit before, and I just hadn't noticed it yet. Okay. Though I do like to think that it is actually more diegetic, and it's just the chorus trying to kind of drown out some of the unpleasantness of the
Yeah, it's like...
murders I'm doing in here.
There's singers and like an organ player upstairs, and they're just like, you can hear the sleigh bells and the screaming, and they're like, pick it up a little bit. Let's keep it lively. Come on, boys, play something fresh, you know.
It just, if you're the Cantina band and there's just been
Yeah.
there's just been a murder, like, you got to bring the mood. Like, we're not getting, it's gonna come out of our pay.
Yeah.
If everybody leaves because the mood got bummers.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to get tips when everyone's sad?
Yeah, exactly. Like, all right, the shooting has stopped. Let's back to it, fellas. A 1, 2, 3. Exactly.
I always, you know, the little guy who's playing like the oboe kind of looking instrument in the cantina?
Is it the blue elephant looking dude? Or is that somebody else?
That's Max Rebo, right?
Right, yes.
Because he's playing the circle keys, keytar,
Right.
circle keytar.
Yeah.
Just the little guy who's like the gray, you know, normal alien. And he's got the 2 big like eyes. He looks like a fish kind of guy.
Yeah, I think I'm picturing him.
The
Yeah.
front man.
Front man, you know.
I don't know why, like, every time I see him and then I see, like, that oboe-looking instrument, having tried to play an oboe before, I'm like, I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think he matches up with that.
I don't think I've ever held an oboe.
I remember in like middle school when they were like, okay, here's like the, you know, mouthpiece for each instrument, and we'll see like how you resonate with each one, and then I'll choose your instrument because they didn't have a better way. And I remember being so excited because I was like, oh, I want to play oboe or bassoon because they have the double reed where it's like the 2 little reeds kissing together.
Yeah.
And I thought they both make such cool sounds. Like the oboe and the bassoon are so cool.
They are cool.
And I was bad at reeds. Like I really wanted to play saxophone too, and I just like all the woodwind instruments. I was like not able to make a consistent good sound. Even once I like tried practicing it as I got older and stuff like that.
That's fascinating. I've never played basically a wind instrument of any kind. So like that sort of like compatibility element with just like the way your mouth is shaped and works. Like makes complete sense. I just never thought of it that way. Wasn't supposed to jump down here. Whatever.
And it could totally be just like a, thought process thing of like how to approach it,
Yeah, like learning to whistle or something.
Right. Yeah. Because like on the brass side of things, like I've played like 10 different brass instruments in different ensembles at different points. It's like,
that's cool. I did not know that.
I basically played almost every brass instrument that I could get my hands on, except trombone. I did play a valve trombone, but I was a little lad, and sixth position is hard unless you have a trigger, a thumb trigger, and then you make it work. But I always struggled because I'm like, I don't know where the slide is, and I don't want to learn. Give me a button.
That is really cool though. Like trumpet was your main one, yeah?
Yeah. So I learned French horn first, and then I switched to trumpet because when I moved high schools, they didn't have enough trumpet players in the marching band, and my band director was like, "Hey, can you switch to trumpet?" And I was like, "Sure." And then I enjoyed it, and then I played jazz for the first time, and I was like, "Okay, I want to play the trumpet." Like, jazz is what made me fall in love with the trumpet.
That's cool.
Do you like jazz? I promise that wasn't a whole setup just for a B movie line. But I would love to get myself practicing again. I need to buy like there's like a silent mute that you can plug headphones into for the trumpet.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Any brass instrument. So you can practice in like apartments and stuff like that. Because I haven't played in like 10 years, something. Almost college.
Yeah.
Over 10 years ago.
I imagine like a lot of instruments, like it'll be rusty, but a lot of it'll come back pretty quick.
Yeah. Like I still remember my like, scales and how to read music and all that. And I think that's probably a big part.
Yeah,
it's more
for
just
sure.
probably getting the dexterity and stuff back.
Yeah, definitely. Did you have like a favorite piece of music to play?
Never like an individual piece of music. If I think once I got into playing jazz, like heavy swing and stuff like that, and I also one thing with, I don't know how this goes in other like professional ensembles, but like when I was learning jazz and how it played in most charts that we were given is second trumpet. So like usually jazz ensembles have like 4 trumpets or whatever, like 4 of each instrument kind of thing. Second trumpet would always get the solos because the first trumpet's responsibility is play really high notes, and you can't do both. Like you can if you're like the front man of the ensemble kind of thing. But typically when you get like a piece of music, like, okay, here's the chart, all the first trumpet parts are just like high screaming stuff. And boy, did I love that. Like I was very giddy about it. Like, I'm not a big solo person. Like I didn't like playing solos. And I was always very nervous about it. But then it was like, hey, play this like hard chart, but you're playing these screaming high notes, and those are always the parts that like when you hear the song, you're like, yeah, that guy's killing it. Like,
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
I live for that.
I had so little exposure to that, like just those kinds of instruments in general.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know other like kids who had learned them or were playing them or anything, just being in a pretty like small school, I guess. So it's just fascinating hearing about just that different kind of like learning music experience.
Yeah, it was weird. Like in middle school, I just had like music as an elective because I was just one of the ones I picked because I was like, oh, I'd like to play an instrument. But I knew like no one in my music circle, and I didn't really get close to anyone in my music circle. And then once high school kicked in and marching band became like, for those of you who don't know, like usually the summer break, at least for the schools I went to, the summer break before you would start. So like before I would start my freshman year of high school, like 2 or so weeks before school would start, that would be band camp. And it would basically be, 6 or 8 hours a day of, learning, marching and drills and the music that you were going to play for, like the football games and all that stuff for the marching band. But it's also a really, really nice way to make friends and meet people in like high school and college.
That makes total sense.
You're there for, 2 weeks when you don't have, any other studies going on or anything to do. And all of you are kind of like forced into a mini summer break, but you're working, kind of time together. Mm-hmm. And before you have the madhouse of like it super helped me in college when it's like, oh, there's no one on campus except for these, like 200 people, and you get to see them every day for like 2 weeks, versus here's 10,000 people and everyone's very busy and you have no time to talk.
That makes complete sense.
But that was when I was like, okay, I'm staying in band because, I made all my friends starting with band versus, other classes and whatnot.
That also makes sense, actually. Yeah. Okay. Good news. I have full black character tendency now, I think.
Nice work.
Thank you.
You did me proud.
I did. Yeah, I was trying to decide. Am I proud? I don't know. I did earn it, though.
I'm proud. The pride will come in time.
So now I wonder, now that I have that, and basically the things that I know you have to do in order to get this particular NPC to even appear, because like most playthroughs, this character will never show up, is to kill, what's his face? What is that guy's name? There's the knight who was in the cage in the kind of Latria area.
I would have known this like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, right.
I don't remember.
I'd have known this like 2 episodes ago, but I've just cleared the cache in my brain.
Yeah, so the guy who goes around killing if you don't.
Yeah, basically the guy you let out of a cage in that area in Latria, who I killed immediately. Because if you don't, he'll come back to your Nexus, and every time you kill a boss, if you leave him be, he will kill an NPC every single time. Until you kill him and stop him.
Yeah.
Basically, if you kill him and you get your character tendency all the way down to black, then apparently the NPC who was putting him up to it will eventually show up to see you and invite you to continue what they started. I don't know where they show up, so I'm just going to start looking around.
Okay.
I'm very curious, though. And we might finish this next episode, just depending on how long it takes. I think that's you. Well, you look neat.
I can see that you have killed before.
Recently.
No one can blame you for that. Demon souls are too precious to relinquish. Perhaps a slayer like you would have an interest in my offer. I want you to kill Saint Urbain and his followers. You will be rewarded amply. Do we have an agreement? A reason? Ha! Just think of it as an opportunity to remove a competitor.
You got a deal. I've actually already killed the followers, but...
Excellent. I have high expectations.
It's kind of how I got you to show up. But anything else to say before I go?
What's wrong?
Do your dark work.
I granted you a simple task. Get on with it. Kill Saint Urbain and his misguided followers.
I'm on the job.
Who's the first target?
First target is Saint Urbain and his followers, or like also known as now just Saint Urbain.
I was going to say, I'm like, so just Saint Urban.
Yeah, pretty much Saint Urbain table for one.
Table for one.
Have I said hi to you yet, by the way? May the heavens smile benevolently. Umbasa.
Mbasa.
Really nice thing about this sword, this build, this whole thing, none of the NPCs I've attacked have had a chance to do anything
Nice.
before dying. It's working out pretty well for me. Ooh, and that one actually dropped something. Saint stuff. Ring of Devout Prayer. I also got an interesting ring off of Skirvir. What was that one? The Ronin ring. Reduces rate of weapon wear. Oh, cool.
Oh, nice. That's always good.
Yeah. I've never had one of them break.
Yeah. No, what was it? Was that Dark Souls 2 that had the glitch?
Yeah, that was Dark Souls 2 that had the glitch.
That was fun. You know, I've always wanted to do that playthrough in Dark Souls 2 where you either don't die or don't rest at a bonfire for the rewards.
Ooh,
And
daunting.
yeah, so like I can't remember which one's which, but basically they each if you do one without dying, and if you do one without resting at a bonfire, you get 2 rings. And they let you like your weapon in each hand be invisible, basically.
Yeah?
It's like one's for the left hand, one's for the right hand specific. So it's like, oh, there's a fun little reward, whatever. But it's cool looking at the setup for doing the no bonfire, because if you think about it, that means you don't get the auto repair, you don't get your Estises back, like all that stuff. So like you can die as much as you want. You'll just have to, like run through areas again, but you can still light the bonfires,
Oh, okay. I was about to say, because yeah, that seems otherwise untenable.
But it was cool, like, they were like, okay, do one playthrough, and then on New Game Plus is when you want to do it. You remember that spear that has, like, the head on it?
Yeah.
If you break that head by breaking the weapon's durability, the spear is, like, actually usable, and it's like, hey, use this, because you never need to repair it, because it's already broken. So they're like, use that, and then buy a bunch of life gems with, like, all your souls from the first playthrough and stuff, so you still have healing, and I was like, that's neat. That seems like a fun way to go through the Souls game.
That's so cool. I love that they're flexible enough that you can actually find ways to win like that.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Like, the reward's neat, too, but it was just like, oh, that's cool that people have thought of all these, like, different techs and stuff to use.
Yeah. And just using equipment that you would otherwise, why would you ever use that?
Yeah.
Well, in this specific, with these limitations on you, it suddenly is the best looking option.
I love that kind of stuff.
I do too. It's great. All right, I've done the deed.
So,
The deed is done.
it is done. Here is your reward. Take it.
Yeah, what sort of rewards do you get for this? Oh, well, that's the Stone of Ephemeral Eyes. That's a little less impressive, but that was just the first one.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Now for your next
I've got the
task.
rewards up, too.
I want you
Oh,
to
nice.
kill Sage Frake and his sniveling apprentice. Of course, I'll provide you with a fine.
I was curious, because I was like, I still haven't done this stuff.
Well, I'll accept the offer to kill Sage Frake. I don't think he's here.
Excellent.
He was
I
the
have
one in the
high
cell, right?
expectations.
Oh, yeah. All right. How do we get that one out of there?
That was... What do we do for that? It's one of the keys that's hidden in the first area. So I think, like, remember those like 2 long hallways that normally were locked? I think
Yeah.
once we got those keys, which we got, I think, by killing the guy who was casting the spell.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's there.
Okay. Tell you what, everyone, we're near an episode ending point. And I was about to say, like, I was worried that maybe I would need pure white tendency to get that key thing, but I do have white tendency there. Perfect. Okay. We will get that sorted out or at least figure out what needs to be done to free Sage Frake and get him into our nexus, a place of safety in theory. And be back with y'all to continue this and wrap it up next time. Next time might be the finale too. There's not a lot of game left.
Yeah, I think we got it.
Yeah, I think so. But I'm super curious to see this play out. I've just never seen any of this stuff. It's going to be fun. We'll see y'all next time for that, though. Take care until then, everyone. And let me find the gestures. And then here we, goodbye.
Goodbye.